Hey, how you doing? Back with another one. Sitting here outside again, you know, admiring the sky. I originally came out here to talk about one thing, and on my way out, it kind of changed my thought. I wanted to think about something else and talk about something else. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was truth and how we view and define truth. What is really truth? Is truth based on observation? Is truth based on what you've been told? Is truth what you believe? Is truth what you feel? What is truth? I don't know, there's the definition of what truth is, right? But what is real truth? And how does one define truth, and how does one express truth, right? Because we all have our own truths. We all believe in our truths, right? And I think those lines get so blurry when you think about what is truth and what is belief, and how belief can be truth and how truth can be belief. But if my truth is my truth and someone else's truth is their truth, what is that? Well, how can two people have the same truths if we believe that the truth means that it is real, it's unproved, it's proven, and it's indisputable? You can't argue the truth. But how is that the case if two people can have two different truths? Because then the whole meaning of the word truth is so obscured, right? You don't know exactly what truth really is. We just know what our own truths are. So truth can't be definite, and it can't be finite. It can't be. It's not absolute. It is only what we perceive to be true. It's only what we think is true, what we feel is true, and what we believe is true. And there's nothing wrong with having your own beliefs on what you think is true, whether you believe in, a higher power, or you don't believe in a higher power. If you believe that there is one God, or there's multiple gods, or you believe that there are unicorns, or you believe there aren't unicorns, or you believe there are fairies, or you don't believe there are fairies. It doesn't really matter, because we, as a collective human consciousness, we don't actually truly understand the truth, because everything from the time you were born up into the time you die has been fed to you and told to you, right? How many of you who may or may not be looking at this video actually know for certain everything you've been told? Have you searched for that information on your own? Have you searched for that answer on your own? Have you drawn that conclusion on your own? Right? Because I think these are the questions we have to start asking ourselves, instead of just accepting something as a truth. Let's confirm that it is the truth. Let's make sure that it is without a doubt and definite, undisputable, and absolute truth. Not because someone told us passionately that it's the truth, but you have discerned for that yourself that it is true, and that there's no question that it is the fact, right? It is a known truth, a known fact that you have evidence to prove. A belief is something that you feel that deeply in your core, that no matter what has been told to you, that you know it to be real. That is the thing that really, I think, defines us as humans, because truth is up in the air, and the truth is dependent on the person you talk to. But your belief, we all have them. We all believe what we all believe. And just because I may believe one thing and you believe something different doesn't make either one untrue, right? And because they're two different beliefs, those that is the I think the essence of what it really means to be human, to have these beliefs and be able to exchange and share these beliefs and try to understand why that person believes what they believe versus what you believe yourself. Nothing that we know in this world is absolute. And how do I know this? They told us years that there is no proof that giants exist. But there are so many articles now, and I'm talking about articles dating back to the 1950s. And there's some even more recent articles showing that people are doing excavations in parts of the US alone. I'll forget outside of the US, but within the US, where they're discovering massive human remains. We're talking about giant-sized remains, bones, skulls. I mean, this is there. The information is there. So if we were told that giants didn't exist, that would completely, we didn't even question the idea that giants didn't exist. But those who have actually picked up the Bible, the holy book, and read it, it talked about these giants in this book. So how could they not exist? How can they be myths? But the Bible itself spoke about these things. So they have to be true, but we were told something different. Right? It's scary, but it's the truth. The facts are, and the truth is, they did exist. But we were told that they were just fairy tales. They were just myths, that giants did not exist. But the Bible clearly spoke of them. Right? The fact that the angels came down and mated with the humans and created what the Bible called Nephilim. Nephilim were giants. And in the Bible, they mentioned that. And the flood was to clean them from the earth. But they don't exist. How is it that the book we cherish and we follow as a rule on how we should conduct our lives as good Christian people following the words of Jesus Christ, telling us that these things existed, but science is saying that they weren't? Of course, now we know today that's not true. So if that's not true, what else is not true? What else have they been saying that is true, isn't true, or what they say wasn't true is true? How do we know that? We don't. And the only way for us to know that is to actually go out of ourselves and look for the information, search, find if that is true, rather than just accepting something to be true. Right? We don't know all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't search for those answers and we can't find them. Instead of just accepting whatever has been told to us, whatever has been said to us, find the truth for yourself. There are so many distractions in this world that distract us from finding out not just where we are, what our purpose are, but what are we? Are we flesh? Are we spirit? Are we a soul? Are we a combination of those things? What are we? If you ask me personally, I think we're just spirit. We're just energy. Infinite energy. Powerful energy. That the flesh that we walk this earth in is just a vehicle. Like no other vehicle, just like any other vehicle you have. No different from a plane, no different from a bus, nothing different from a car. You use this vehicle to navigate this world. On this plane of existence, you need a vehicle. Your spiritual form will not allow you to move about it. So you need to house you a physical body. This is what my physical body is. It is nothing more than a vehicle. And while I'm traversing this plane of existence, I need this vehicle. Right? And I would treat this just like you would your car, right? What do people do when they have a car? They do routine maintenance on the car. They get the oil changed. They get the tires rotated. They get the oil filter, the filter changes. You get, you may get, You know, you may get your spark plugs changed. You get your alternator replaced. You know, you get your service, your normal standard services that you would get on your car so that your car runs functioning while you're using it. Your human body is the exact same way, which is why they have so many say, oh, you got to eat this, you have to eat that, you make sure you consume this, make sure you consume that. Those things are legitimate because in order for you to continue to navigate this world, your body needs to be in prestige, tip-top shape. You need to have these things in order to keep that vehicle going. So for me, personally, this body is just my vehicle. Nothing more, nothing less, right? But the entity that dwells within this vehicle, that is the true me. That is the essence of what I am. That's what's me. And that's how I define what I am. I don't let someone tell me what I am defined by. No one tells me what I am. I have defined what I am myself because I have done deep introspection, and I realized that I am more than just this flesh. This flesh is nothing more than a vehicle, and then I acknowledge that. So whatever the world sees me as is just how the world views me. But what I truly am, the world could not see. That is my truth. That is the truth. And I can scientifically prove in that we're all just energy. Right? When they talk about the brain itself looks like a network of just electrical energy just flying all over the place, which is why some of the defects people endure as they go on in year is things like Alzheimer's, dementia, right? Loss of memory. These are because that energy, all that energy flowing through your head is being interrupted because there are some parts of the brain that are turning off, just like you would an electrical outlet. If there's no power going to that electrical outlet, it doesn't work. You can go to a next one in the other room, plug it in and it works, but go into another room and it doesn't work. There's something stopping that energy, that electricity from flowing. So energy even exists to animate this body, to keep this body running. But I know one thing, that if this body ceases to operate, that doesn't mean I cease to operate. That just means that this body, this vehicle, is no longer useful. And I now need a new vehicle in order to navigate this world again. Right? But the truth is, no one has been able to observe our spirit, but we know it exists. Why? Because we were told it exists. No, not necessarily. Yes, that's true, but it's more to it. You can feel the energy. You can observe your interaction with the energy. We have dreams, and we dream of weird things that we can't even explain, like almost as if we were living a previous life, or we were in a world that was unfamiliar to us. And you ask yourself, well, why did I dream with that? Was it because of a movie? And it's easy to just brush these things off as, oh, I dreamt about this because of that, or I branched this because of that, because you're being taught to think differently. But I implored you, really think about the dream itself. And here's another alternative to the idea that it's just nothing, that is just some movie you saw. I'm giving you a different alternative to that. What if that dream is just another world that you literally went to or you've been to? What if you are seeing a world or a time period that you once existed in, and that memory is there? That memory doesn't go away because your consciousness is where you store your memory. Your brain stores short term. So that's everything you've endured over this time, which is probably why people who suffer from Alzheimer's don't necessarily lose all their memory. They may not remember a friend they met from maybe 10 years ago, but they can always remember their husband, their first love. They can always remember their firstborn. but they may not remember the second or third born, right? Why is that? Why they can only remember some parts and not all the parts? Because some parts was transferred over to that consciousness, and some of them didn't get the chance to transfer over. And that's just me speaking. I don't know if that's really works, but that's a theory. And that's what's fun about this, because you can come up with so many ideas to explain this stuff. But one thing is for certain, we all believe that we are a spirit. We all believe that. There is no culture anywhere on this God green planet that does not believe that we all have a spirit. And that's because we all innately know that it exists, but we forget that that spirit is what drives us. And that is the thing that we should be striving to be close to. That's the thing we should be striving to understand. Not so much this physical body, but the truth of it all is the thing we should be searching for. And we should be doing that as a collective group, a collective array of just so many different people with different backgrounds and different lifestyles and just different beliefs. Because if we all did that and we really took time to sit down, we will find that our beliefs and everything we hold to be true is all the same. The only difference is what we call it, because that is the only thing separating us. It's what we call these things, what we call God, what we call love, what we call family, what we call friends, what we call the sky, what we call the sun, what we call the moon, what we call the stars. It is all the same. We just call it something different. And if we can take time to understand what those words mean and how they relate to what we believe, we can see that we have so much more in common, and that if we come together, we will truly see the face of God. We will truly see the face of God, because it is in that moment that we come closer to the Creator than we've ever come close to Him before, or she, or it. Whatever your face of God is. But the truth can only be discovered if we search for it, rather than just accepting what is truth, instead of someone telling you what the truth is. And that goes for every aspect of our lives, especially today. The truth isn't defined by what someone tells you to be the truth. The truth is defined by what you can observe, what you can see, and what you understand. And everything else is just theories. I always find this interesting when people talking about certain scientific ideas or ideologies, because I don't think anyone actually takes time to look at the definition of the word and then relate the word. But they call these scientific studies, they always seem to have the word theory in it. A theory. The theory of relativity, this Darwin's theory, the theory of evolution. And what that is saying is that this is an educated guess that this is right. So we've built a whole society around guesses. It's all guesses. And the fact that there is no proof and that someone has just came up with a theory, to me it's surprising. It's astonishing to me, because we can argue everything else, but we have not sat down and argued what those theories might be and why they only call theories and not proof. Why is it not called the proof of relativity? Why is it not called the proof of Darwin? Why is it Darwin's theory? Because it's just that. It's just a theory. Just like my theory on the spirit. It's just a theory. Right? I might have said it and explained it in such a way that it seemed almost scientific. But the truth is a theory. Why? Because I have not truly observed it with my own eyes. Now, I have observed my spirit, and I tell you, it is true. I've seen it. I can't see it with this human eyes because it just can't observe it. But when you close your eyes, you are uninhibited by this world, which means you can see into other worlds or other dimensions, other spaces and time. You can see it. So you can observe yourself. And I observe myself, which is why I can speak so confidently about this. But at the end of the day, to you, it's just a theory. That's all it is, because you have not observed it. But the only way for you to do that is to honestly, really think about it yourself. Research it yourself and look for the truth in what it is you are supposed to be doing, who you are, and why you're here. You know, one of the things that upset me a lot about humans is, I think in this country particularly, the large majority are Christians, which means they read the Holy Book. They follow the practices of Jesus Christ. But Jesus had compassion. He had love. He had understanding. He saw the best in the worst. In this country, I don't see that. We condemn people for the mistakes. We shun those who we feel are evil. We spend more time judging than we do helping. We spend more time criticizing than understanding. Where is the Christ in that? Where is that? Where is the Christ like in that? For a country that's predominantly filled who practice this belief and go to these masses every Sunday, I don't see that. And this might be a touchy subject, and I can understand that. But even this conflict in with Russia and Ukraine, I read so many articles, and most of the articles, when they giving relief to the people who are suffering in Ukraine, these people are suffering. The aid they want to give them, it's more military weapons. That's confusing to me. I don't see how that's helping a crippling country right now. Sending them more weapons to cause more destruction. I'm confused about that. Where is the love? Where is the Christ-like? I don't know. Perhaps, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Perhaps I am. I'm not perfect and I don't claim to know everything. But for me, I don't understand that. Why are we in this place? Why are we here? Because everybody's truth is different. That's why we're in this place. Because we won't sit down and see what is your truth versus what my truth is. We rather say, if you don't believe what I believe, you're the enemy. Don't sound nothing like Christ. Don't sound like God either. But again, I don't know. But I say all this to say, for you who are listening, for you who are honestly really listening to what I'm saying, do not let anyone tell you what the truth is. Search and find that truth for yourself. I spend so much time finding truths, and I won't stop doing that until the day I die. And if I can leave you with one more thing, don't let people label you, because they're just labels. Don't let people put you in boxes because they want you to be in a world where you don't get to understand or empathize with the people that aren't you, who don't live the life you live or don't see the world the way you do. You decide what you want to be, You decide who you are, and be happy about who you are, and love who you are, regardless of what you are and how you are, how people view you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to always not match up to somebody's standard, because everyone has their own standard. But you're not here for everyone else. You are here solely for the purpose of finding out your place in this cosmic universe. And make no mistake. You are divine. You are a spiritual divine being, and you are perfect the way you are in every capacity, and that is your truth, and that is the truth.